how it was the next morning. Everything different. The wind cool from the hills. The sun shining down on the vineyards. The vintage coming in. The grapes, names I barely knew, but looking like clusters of costume jewelry. Too big to be real. The night, and sand, and dreams. Only I couldn't quite forget them.
Marcel, where's your boss?
Still at the vineyard, picking up the loose grapes.
Can't blame him. Grapes are gold, eh, Mr. Benton? You're lucky to see these. These are the finest grapes in California, maybe the finest grapes in the whole world. Grown by a friend of mine named Gino Verdugo. Gino Verdugo's a friend. Each one of these is hand-selected, perfect jewel, rich and full, each a jewel.
If I'm not mistaken, Malvasia Bianca?
That's right. You know your grapes, don't you? I tell you something. From this grape, see, comes the kind of wine that Empress trade castles for. Oh, thank you. Then also, in my opinion, this is the kind of woman that Empress traded castles for. I'm sorry, beg your pardon. It's my wife, Phyllis, Mr. Benton.
How do you do, Mrs. Hochin?
Lunch is ready.
We have some business to take care of first.
Your brother's here again, so don't keep him waiting, too.
Mike?
Yes, Paul?
Come here. Hurry up. Come on. Attaboy. Come here. Now, do you want to help me and do me a favor and show Mr. Benton the winery?
That'd be fine.
All right.
Michael, did you do what I told you?
Not yet.
Go down to the house.
Yes, Mommy.
I guess we'll have to get along without him.
But if your lunch is ready and your brother is waiting,
I'll tell you, do me a favor. You stay for lunch as our guest.
Thank you.
Our house is yours, Mr. Benton. The front door is always unlocked. Family motto. Isn't it, dear?
That's right, darling. My grandfather came from Switzerland
And built the winery.
That's right. He built the winery, the cellars back there, house, everything outside. To him, it represented the promised land. The land of milk, the land of honey. Also the land of good, good wine. I remember my grandfather. I remember my grandfather saying that in such good land, there must be good people, so we never have our doors locked.
Remarkable.
The Hochin tradition, along with feeding stray dogs and tramps.
You mustn't misunderstand my wife, Phyllis. It's just that she doesn't understand tradition. She doesn't understand wines either, for that matter, but we're teaching her. Could I have the wine glass? That's a tall glass.
I know.
Excuse me? Now here we have the wine we bottled young.
Uh-huh.
When it is fresh and delicate.
Gina, how are you? I'm glad to see you. We're just trying to figure out whether you grow wine, grapes, or raisins. Oh, excuse me, this is Gino Verdugo. Gino Verdugo, this is Mr. Benton.
How do you do?
Pleased to meet you, Mr.
Mr. Benton is a wine buyer from Boston.
Excuse me. Paul, I gotta speak with you. It's very important.
All right, you'll excuse me, please?
Of course.
Darling, wait a minute about the wine before you taste it. There's the aroma.
The whole routine, I know.
What's this about Mike not having his lunch?
He's getting ready to go back to school.
What do you mean he's getting ready to go back to school?
Paul, after we drive in there, do you think that we could go on, just the two of us? Maybe we could drive south to Mexico.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's difficult to explain, but you see, last night, before you came home, I had a funny feeling.
About what?
I don't know. Something to do with the house, I suppose.
I don't know. I don't understand. You used to like the house. When Mike came here, you were happy. Now suddenly everything's different. Everything's changed. Well, what happened?
What's happened is that I don't want that feeling again.
What feeling?
Like the one I had last night.
Don't you think you're just getting nervous over something unnecessary? Everybody around here is getting jumpy. My mother's jumpy, my brother's jumpy, and over some foolishness about a prowler.
You're not going to listen to me, are you?
It's not a case of listening or not listening. It's a case of certain things to be considered. Number one is Michael and his feelings. He was promised he could stay here for a month. And number two is my business. I can't just leave here and go marching off to Mexico.
And us?
Us, we'll have to do what my family's always done. We'll have to go to the fair. It's time for us to be adult. You're gonna go, aren't you?
If you want me to.
Well, that's sensible. All right, I'll go tell Mike.
Don't worry so, Phyllis.
I can't help worrying. We're all worried.
It will be all right. I know that he's innocent.
How do you know?
Well, I just know. Have faith. Put your faith in me, saith the Lord. The innocent and the just person thou shalt not put to death. That's from Exodus. His very words. He'll take care of Paul.
He'll free the innocent just as he will punish the guilty.
Have faith, Phyllis.
Yes. Have faith.
Sitting around that stinking hotel. Hanging around town, watching them roll up the sidewalks. 9 o'clock. I'm fed up.
So you've decided to clear out, huh?
Not the size of it.
Do you like this wine, Sam?
That got to do with it.
This whole winery, where it comes from. Have you any idea just how much it's worth? Well, I'll tell you. About $250,000.
Yeah?
Isn't that worth getting fed up for?
Yeah, it would be. If it had dropped. But it won't.
He was indicted, wasn't he?
Sure, they're just going through the motions. I got the scoop on that. Trial will be the same, a breeze. And then we're right back where we started from. What can you do about it?
There has to be something.
You could tell him the truth. Like you told me. Tell him how he killed Verdugo when he found you two together, and then he rigged things so as to look as though Verdugo had broken in. That'd swing it.
You want me to do that?
I guess you couldn't. It wouldn't be right. A wife shoving her husband in a gas chamber. Even if he has it coming. So it looks like we rode up a box canyon, baby. Nothing I can do. Nothing you can do.
Stan, do you believe in God?
I guess.
Enough to wait until the trial?
What are you getting at?
The old lady said something before you came. About God punishing the guilty